In this Star Wars Jedi Survivor video, I will be sharing with you brand new gameplay and my thoughts on the game, because I played it thanks to EA. Before we do take a look at this incredible new gameplay and details such as customization, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future Jedi Survivor videos. So, you want to know if the game is good, right? Well, it's a much improved game over Fallen Order, at least from the few hours I've played from it. It still has what we liked about the previous game, but removes the main issues we had with it. This is what most of us wanted anyway, and that's what we are getting. The first thing I really want to go deep into though, is how I was blown away with just how much stuff there was in every part of the open world. The amount of Star Wars assets and NPCs compared to Fallen Order is a game changer. For example, Greezer's Cantina is one of the main buildings in the game, if not the main building. It has a few floors, and each of them contain a few rooms. Every nook and cranny has objects that could tell a story. Clone Trooper helmets, posters, blasters, treasure. There is just so much stuff everywhere. I absolutely love it. I've never seen anything like this in a Star Wars game before. It's just on a whole new level. If you are a Star Wars fan that loves lore and analysing every little detail, this is going to be your game. Another thing I love is just how much more interaction there is with the game world. An example of this is in Greezer's Cantina, you can find a holocron in the toilet and even go up to the sink and wash your hands. There is this nice sense of humour that's written into the cutscenes, gameplay voice lines, and things like the toilet instance that helps lighten the mood in the downtime during this big dark time. And the Cantina is just one building in this town called Rambler's Reach. Rambler's Reach features several shops and various NPCs. You can purchase new customization options from the shopkeepers, or meet NPCs in the town, or even further out in the game world that will give you side quests. Completing these optional missions will give you ways to get more gameplay abilities or customization options. There are loads of music tracks for you to unlock and play on the Cantina's jukebox. There is even a garden to plant seeds that you'll find throughout the game. There are even stables that you can park the animals that you tame in. These animals will allow you to ride or fly across vast distances in just a short time. They are very helpful. So where you were confined to the Stinger Mantis in Fallen Order, you can feel right at home within a building and a town that's just so expansive. Speaking of the Stinger Mantis, it does actually get some new features. There are objects where the seeds used to grow in Fallen Order, so there is Cal's music player, Greezer's salt shaker, the broken holocron, a Shio feather, and more. Let's now discuss customization, a topic that a lot of people want to know more about. Fallen Order had a good lightsaber customization system, but everything else was pretty lackluster. The good news is that Respawn have put that level of customization into Cal and BD1's appearances. They've also gone even further with lightsaber customization, which I was not expecting. It comes in this new menu, and I'm very happy to share that the lightsaber colour selector is back with a white kyber crystal colour. Plus, you can change the colours of each part of the lightsaber individually, the type of grip material, the polish, and more. There are just so many sliders and settings to tweak your lightsaber to be yours. There are endless options, and if you liked lightsaber customization in the first game, you are going to love it in this game because it takes everything to a whole new level. The big issue people had with customization in the first game was just the fact that there was basically only ponchos to discover and almost nothing else for Cal, but that changes because you can change Cal's hair, beard, jacket, shirt, and trousers. Here are a bunch of the options available, and these are just a small amount. There is way more for you to discover and purchase in-game. BD1 can also have 5 of his sections changed too. Much like Cal's appearances, you can find them or purchase them with in-game currency, which is earned through playing the game. It's not a microtransaction. Another thing that's changed quite a bit from the first game is the skill tree. It's now been expanded into several skill trees, and they have this really awesome menu. I love it. I can't do a full game review as I only played the game for 4 hours, and it began about an hour into the game's story. We were not allowed to reveal many story details, but I will share with you what I am allowed to say. There are no major story spoilers, I have to keep those a secret. All of my time spent in the game was on the Jedi Knight difficulty, and I completed the demo, which was a whole chapter of story missions in those 4 hours. This is not a demo that's going to be released to the public, it was made just so we could play a specific portion of the game. Speaking of difficulty, there are now 5 difficulty options, up from 4 in Fallen Order. The new one is Jedi Padawan, and that joins Story, Knight, Master, and Grandmaster. This is also a great time to talk about settings. Along with new features such as ray tracing, AMD FSR2, and field of view, accessibility options have also been greatly improved. Fall damage can be removed, there is a slow motion mode, plus the ability to skip voice lines as a toggle. A big issue for some people in Fallen Order were spiders. The good news here is that there is an arachnophobia toggle, so this does confirm there are spiders in the game, but you can remove them. If you appear to be stuck, the game will also offer you a hint, and if you want to say no to a hint because you want to figure it out yourself, you can do that. It's just on the D-pad, it is a pop-up, so that's a nice touch. I will now talk about what I played, where it started in the story, where it ended, and what was shown to us that we could not play, and more. So the first few minutes was a tutorial, which will not be in the final game. It was there just so people could get to grips with the controls. The controls are basically the same as Jedi Fallen Order, with some minor tweaks for the new Force abilities, such as the slow down time that's replacing the photo mode controls. And speaking of photo mode, I couldn't find anything in the settings, so I assume there isn't one, at least at launch, or they're just hiding it in this version of the game. I did ask EA for a comment, but I haven't heard back on that. One of the new abilities is mind control. It's really fun using that on AI to turn them against their own side. Another welcome change from Fallen Order is that you don't need to press a button to climb. You can just jump on a climbable wall and you're on it. You can also climb on ceilings. That adds a little bit more to the climbing experience. When you open the pause menu, there is this training section for the 5 different lightsaber stances and the various parts of lightsaber combat. There is no battle grid, at least from what we can tell, but there is this arena to practice in. You will also find challenges called a Force Tier in the open world. This one is a movement focused challenge, for example, and I think some people will be having a lot of fun trying to really take advantage of what they can do with the movement. Most of the 4 hours played were spent on Kobo, the big main planet in this game, and it's far bigger and more open than anything we've seen in Jedi Fallen Order. It's not just more open in terms of like an open world, but it has more stuff in than you've ever seen, like I mentioned, the cantina and things like that. The start of the story that we experienced was the Mantis crashing onto the planet after a job goes wrong. Cal needs to find parts to repair it, so he goes to find Grease, who has this cantina. When you get to the cantina, you meet Ravers, the Gendai who is the leader of the Bedlam Raiders. He's pretty angry at this guy called Turgle, and a lot happens in the following 3 hours after this, so I'm not able to actually say past this point what happens, except one thing. There is an anomaly. Something that might offer Cal and his friends something valuable. You also start out the game with 3 lightsaber stances: single blade, double blade, and dual blade. The other 2, the blaster and the heavy longsword, will be found later into the game. After 2.5–3 hours, I was getting a little bored of the rock and dust biome of Kobo, but that changed. The jungle area that we see in this gameplay is not of a new planet, but rather just another part of Kobo. These sections here also provide different scenery to keep things fresh. Another thing that kept the gameplay and the location fresh are the Jedi chambers. These puzzle rooms are sometimes optional, so you don't have to do all of them if you don't like puzzles in the first game. You will have to do some puzzles to progress through the story, but it's definitely been toned down quite a bit this time, and it's more so an optional thing. At least from the ones I experienced on Kobo, these puzzles are also far more clear with what you need to do though. Definitely a step up and easier than Fallen Order. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I quite liked them because it was a different change of pace from, you know, going crazy with lightsaber and force combat. It does also help having a location with fantastic architecture from the High Republic era. There is also a good variety of enemy types. That was another issue people had with this game. I think it really helps having the droid army that are controlled by the Bedlam Raiders, because you have B1s, commando droids, droidicas, B2s. There is just a lot of new enemies to come across. So alongside the battle droids, you have Bedlam Raider soldiers, the Empire and their troops, plus animals, including a real Rancor. Yes, you will be able to fight Rancors in this game, along with Wampas and even more big creatures. I also felt like the Force abilities just work better in this game. I like being able to use the Force more often and pick up objects and just throw them at enemies. It just feels like Cal has really honed his skills naturally, because it has been 5 years, but also the game has gotten better. After I completed the demo, Jason, the combat designer on the game, showed us blaster gameplay. He showed off his phenomenal skills of playing this game with all 5 of the lightsaber stances, as well as the Force. We saw him do some absolutely incredible moves, such as lifting up stormtroopers in the air with one hand, and then take them out with a lightsaber in the other, the ones that are still on the ground and not high up in the air. So it's just like Darth Vader did in Rogue One. The blaster gameplay also allows you to swing a lightsaber and shoot at the same time. You can use the blaster in collaboration with the Force. The moves Jason was doing reminded me of Red Dead Redemption's Deadeye or Lando's Sharp Shot in Battlefront 2. You just activated it, it sort of like slowed down time, and it locked on to loads of stormtroopers. That was a special move. So you can just fire the blaster at one enemy at a time if you want to do that instead of doing a special move. And you're also able to chain together a blaster shot to hit multiple targets. It like reflected between multiple enemies and things like that. It's just definitely not your normal gun mechanic. It's heavily evolved with the Force. As for graphics, what you see in this gameplay is what you are going to be getting. It's just a more refined looking game over Fallen Order. That's not to say Fallen Order looked bad, because it doesn't. It actually looks really good, especially on high-end PCs and the next-gen version of the game. But Respawn have been able to do things that they just can't do on an Xbox One or PS4. It just takes it up a little notch and makes it look better. Specifically, the lighting. It's greatly improved in both cutscenes and gameplay. This ties into the time of day when you're playing the game. It does change as you progress through the story, or if you sleep in Cal's bed that Grease has offered to him in his cantina. It can be bright and early, or sunset late on. It definitely changes things up. Whilst I've been pretty positive about the game so far, there are some things I do not like. These may be classed as nitpicks, but I want the best Star Wars game possible, and these are things that are annoying me from the experience I had of playing the game for 4 hours. So the map has improved in several ways over Fallen Order, with the addition of fast travel, a trail of where you've been, and more. But these just also have hindered the experience for me a little bit. The issue I have is that there is just a lot of stuff happening on the map, which makes it quite overwhelming, at least in the first time of me playing for those 4 hours. It was also unclear at times if where I was going was for the main story mission or it was a side quest. I just wanted to focus on the story and not do the side stuff, and I kind of started going in ways that weren't for the story. Performance, for the most part, was good, but also a bit worrying. I played on an unfinished pre-release version of the game on a high-end PC at max settings. This is not the final game. When running through the town or seeing a large landscape, the frame rate dropped a lot, with some noticeable pop-in. We were playing above 120 FPS, but it was going down to what felt like 30 when I was hitting these choke points, you know, the town itself or big open spaces. It's possible the fact that the game settings were turned up to the absolute max were having the impact here and the PC just could not handle it. I was not allowed to change the settings to test this, and it's also possible that the game will have more optimization before it does release. I did not notice it going below, say, 60 FPS in most situations, such as the combat at least, so that's the most important thing. One section of the game, though, that dropped the FPS to what felt like 5 FPS was the galaxy map. BD1 lets you choose which planet you want to look at and visit in a galaxy map, and it was just horrendous in terms of how bad the FPS was. As soon as you exit it, it's fine, so I think it's a bug, and it has to be fixed for when the game comes out because it's just not acceptable. Another FPS issue I spotted were AI animations updating at 30 FPS. It was really jarring seeing Cal and a battle droid animating smoothly, whilst an animal in the same sort of area running at 30 frames per second or lower. This is an issue I have with a bunch of games, and it really just breaks the immersion a little bit. Another immersion breaking issue I have is that some assets in cutscenes were just not being removed from shots quickly enough, much like the first game. I thought this was mostly going to be eliminated, thanks to the game really taking advantage of faster storage devices, but I don't know the specs of the drive it was running on, but there were still some issues I had from Fallen Order happening here in the cutscenes, so I would like to see those addressed. I'm not sure if an auto sprint option exists in the settings, but if there isn't one, I would like it, because I found myself running a lot in the open world, and pressing down the thumbstick so much was kind of tiresome and unpleasant, especially after a couple of hours. The few complaints players had with Fallen Order have been fixed, but there are still a few things on the technical side I would like to see addressed. I can't review the story nor more gameplay than what I've played, but the sheer amount of Star Wars to experience feels like this is going to be a truly special game for fans of Star Wars. It's going to scratch various itches, and it's going to be a fun but dark adventure. Let me know your thoughts or questions you have from this video, and if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like to help the channel, subscribe if you aren't around here, and if you did miss any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on the screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.